everybody. Welcome back to A Late Show. Let's say hello to Mr. John Baptiste. Hey, John. Good to see you again. Last night, we're still having to cool down the building from your performance on the show last night. There was structural damage. They had to bring in engineers to see if they could shore up the Ed Sullivan.
Yeah, you know, it was 4 of me, so
I know.
when you got 4 of me, it's a lot.
Legally, you can't have more than 4 John Batistes in one location.
That's right.
No.
Yeah, I got 4 registration numbers for that gig. It was big. The union had to come in on that, you see?
Is there any music left in your body today, John, that you might be able to favor the American people with?
Yeah, always a little taste in there. See, there,
You have a fine way to treat a Steinway. Mr. John Baptiste, everybody. Thank you, John.
later on.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of urgent concerns facing Americans right now. When will the vaccination rate allow us to reach herd immunity? Has social media flung our nation into an epistemological crisis? Why are there so many swamp-based TV shows? The issue is that there's so many big issues that sometimes you lose sight of the little issues because of such big issues, and that's an issue. Which brings me to my recurring segment, where we examine issues that once you start thinking about them, you really wish you could stop thinking about them. Tonight's big tech companies love to make promises in order to suck up those sweet, sweet state subsidies, like the proposed Wisconsin Foxconn plant that promised 13,000 jobs and for which Foxconn tore up a small town, raised homes and crops, and was promised more than $4.5 billion in government incentives, and to this day, that plant still hasn't been built. Plus, the Foxconn CEO promised 76 trombones, plus copper-bottom timpani and horse platoons, and double-bell euphoniums and big bassoons. That fellow's been a raspberry seed in my wisdom tooth for too long! Plus, now tech companies have realized there's a major problem with stripping local communities for their gold fillings and tax base. The hassle of having to lie first. But there's a solution to the problem of any public accountability, because in order to attract jobs and investment, a new Nevada bill would allow tech companies to create their own governments, establishing new business areas where they can form separate local governments which provide services and impose taxes. I, for one, do not want to live in the principality of Google Town. You won't be allowed to buy Google milk at the Google Mart unless you buy a Google Glass. No one wants it. Stop trying to make a Google happen. Now, encouraging innovative companies to come to your state is a good thing, but not if they replace the state. And that's exactly what this proposes, which leads to my subsegment. Yikes! These corporate governments wouldn't even be subject to local government. They'd be carved out separately as so-called innovation zones and would be given the same authority as counties. Yikes! We already have a word for masters of the universe who hold the same power as governments. It's called feudalism. Do you really want to establish a society based on the Middle Ages? Good luck, because the hospital you will no longer have the corporate taxes to pay for is now just going to be a bucket of leeches. Sucker. Now, you may be asking, can anyone who owns a Radio Shack franchise found their own government in Nevada? The answer is no, but that's somehow less comforting, which leads me to my yikes subsegment. Gulp. According to the proposed law, the only people who could apply for an innovation zone would need to have enough money, acres upon acres of undeveloped land, and an innovative technology. Gulp. Those are 3 conditions better known as the Bond-villain combo. And it's happening as I speak. A company called Blockchains LLC has already committed to building a smart city that will run on its technology. Gulp. Blockchain is what they use for cryptocurrency. You know, the made-up money for drug lords, hitmen, and guys on Tinder who want to explain what blockchain is? It's a bad road to go down, folks. Because if we start handing over our independent government to the interests of private industry just for jobs and investment, well, the next thing you know, we'll be spending billions in public funds to a league that pays no taxes for football stadiums that it only uses for 8 games a year. What? Uh-oh. We'll be right back with star of WandaVision, Paul Bettany.